Welcome to the 5th episode of my knitting podcast. Thank you so much for your patience. I know I had promised to be back earlier. I am so sorry. I have moved house in the last week, so it was just a bit too stressful. But yeah, for everybody who's new to this channel, a warm welcome. So my name is Anastasia. I am originally from Germany, but I have been living in the UK now for 1.5 years. Prior to that, I have been living in Iceland, and that is where I discovered my passion for knitting. And that is actually one of the reasons why you will find a lot of Icelandic wool and Icelandic knitting on my channel. I hope you like it and you stay a bit longer. If you want to follow me on Instagram and Ravelry, you will find me over there under the same handle, Free Your Sheep, and I would be happy to see you over there as well. A bit of a life update, so if you want to skip that, I totally understand. I won't be offended at all. I will include a timestamp somewhere here, so you can just skip forward. But yeah, the last weeks have been so stressful because we moved house, and it was not by our own choice, so the landlord needed the apartment where we were living before, and we didn't really know where we wanted to go because we had other plans for this year, but we decided to make the best out of it, and we found an apartment right next to the beach. So at the moment I can look either towards the camera or I can look outside. I'm sorry, sometimes something interesting happens over there. People are walking their dogs are fighting, but yeah, we were so lucky with this apartment, and this is an absolute luxury, and we are very, very happy about it. This apartment is actually a bit more affordable, and that makes it a bit easier as well during all what is going on. But the move was very stressful, and not only because it was just the two of us, but also the shops were closed, so if we needed a few furniture pieces, and we had to order everything online and plan ahead, and we couldn't just go out to shop and get the things that were missing. That made it a bit harder. But we are finally there. Yesterday evening we unpacked the last box. We've only got picture frames to put up, and then we're done. And we're getting settled, and it's so nice and cozy here. And this view, oh my god, I could spend hours just sitting here and looking outside. And I feel very inspired here and peacefully, and I can go out every day and just enjoy this very nice location. Yeah, that's about the life update I wanted to talk about. I will start with my knitting content now, but just before I start, I have something special that I wanted to show you. So I feel absolutely spoiled because I have been sent a very nice knitting needle set, and this is the KnitPro Knit and Zip set. So this is a limited Christmas edition. They do a Christmas edition or like a holiday set every year, and this year's set is inspired by coffee and knitting. Well, two things that I love. I absolutely love coffee. I mean, when all is getting back to normal, I really would like to maybe do like a barista course. I would really like to learn how to do the like nice cappuccinos. That's the main reason why I want to do it. But I really like good coffee, and I drink at least 2 cups of cappuccino every day. So I really like the idea of this needle set. I already, when I saw it, I was on the pictures, I really liked it already, but now I got it and it's actually super beautiful. So in this box you will find the knitting needles. Oops, that's the other way. There we go. So you will find this box, and you will also get 2 little espresso cups over here, like blue inside. They're very beautiful. And in this box here you will get an interchangeable needle set. There are 8 different sizes in there. They go from 3.5 millimeters up to 8 millimeters. They're all in different brown colors, and they have coffee names imprinted on them. So you'll find some cappuccino needles, Irish coffee. Oh, I love Irish coffee. Yeah, then another thing which is in there, so you will get a little pouch, and the pouch is like a coffee bean, and in here you will find the different cables, and also like the cable keys and end caps to secure your knitting when you're switching it over. The cables, so you get 4 different cables, and they're 2 are double, but they make it so your needles will be either 60, 80 or 100 centimeter longs, depending which cable you pick. I am an absolute fan of interchangeable needle sets. I think it's the most handiest way you can actually knit. And it's not only good for pieces that you knit in rounds, but I also do it for flat pieces. I just find it easier. You have less weight on your hands, and I find it, yeah, much better. You can just swap around. I do, especially when I have a lot of projects going on that sort of, mostly, for example, when I knit with Icelandic wool, I have a lot of 4.5 millimeter needles or 6 millimeter needles in use. So sometimes when I run out of needles, I can just unscrew the needle tip, put an end cap on it to secure my knitting, and then I can use the needle on a different project. The other nice thing about this set is actually that these connectors, unlike the symphony needles that come with silver connectors, these are actually gold. So they're very beautiful, and I'm looking forward to knitting with them. I've been waiting so far because I wanted to show it to you. But it is a very nice set. I'm very thankful for this gift. And at the end of this episode you will also be able to win a set. So stay until the end or skip forward, it's up to you. But I have another set here for you that I will give away at the end, or I will start the giveaway. That was not knitting really, but yeah, something I'm really thankful about, and it is nice to being able to share a bit with you. The first finished object that I wanted to show you is actually the Friday beanie. So this is a beanie that was knit by request, on request of my partner. He asked me to knit up a beanie for him. He likes wearing hats just at home actually. So I had this wool that is a Cascade Lana Grande in a grey. I don't remember which colorway it was. You will find that on, if you really want to know the exact details, you will always find it on my project pages. So I think the pattern was for free and rubbery. I did it exactly like the pattern. The only thing I did different was the cast on, and I think, well, I need to knit another one because he loves this hat so much that he's been wearing it every day since it came off the needles. So I used the tubular cast on, but I'm actually thinking of changing that in on the next beanie, because I don't really like how it's like too slouchy at the end, or I don't know how to say that. Yeah, as you can see, as there's no brim, you don't really have that structure, so I'm thinking about maybe altering that a little bit. But it is super, super comfy. Actually, I tried it on the other day. I think it looks quite cool. I like that it's like slouchy at the end. That was exactly how he wanted it. And it's super comfy, very warm. And looking at it, I might actually knit myself one. It is super quick, so this took me 1 day. I cast it on in the morning, and I did a bit of knitting in the car, and in the evening I was able to finish it. And I love doing little projects just in between, because it just is nice to not having to sit on something for weeks and weeks and weeks, but you can actually wear it right away. And I think that's a nice little in-between project. The next finished object that I want to talk about is the sweater that I'm wearing. This is actually a pattern that I finished last year. It was a present for one of my sisters, and she asked me to fix a little hole that has come up in the seams. So she gave it to me when I came back to the UK in, I think, September. And unfortunately I wasn't able to give it back to her. No, generally this is something I find, well, which is very sad and hard, because I used to go back and see my family maybe every 4 to 6 weeks, and I used to do it on a very spontaneous basis. So I used to just hop on a flight or just drive down to Germany and stay there for a couple of days and spend some time with them. And when you live abroad or far away from your family, I think, especially this year, you will probably have experienced something similar. So I not only feel homesick, but I also, it's sometimes almost, I want to say, frightening to not being able to see your loved ones. And I really, really hope this is going to change soon. Not only because of that, but also because my main job that I do depends heavily on it. So in my main job, or my profession, I'm actually a pilot. So I depend on the travel industry being running and up, and this year has been very frightening for many of us, especially for my colleagues and friends. And yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones that I'm still employed. I'm on furlough at the moment, and I'm also on winter part-time. So in the winter I work less anyways. I only work 2 weeks at a time, but at the moment I hardly ever work at all. So I maybe have like 1 or 2 flights a month, and that's about it. And it's frightening to see that, because you know that this can't go on for much longer. And as so many friends and colleagues have already lost their jobs, I'm just hoping for a recovery very soon. But yeah, let's come back to my finished object. I'm sorry. So this one is for my sister, and I knitted it up after the Sandy pattern by Kim Hargreaves. That is a pattern that I bought, that was part of a collection, so that is the Sand collection number 5. I bought that one when I was really not experienced in knitting, and I just went to a local yarn store. It was one of these like little old yarn stores somewhere close by. And as I didn't have any idea, I asked that lady that worked there, and she said, oh yeah, so yeah, we'll just go by what the pattern asked for. So it asked for the cotton cashmere by Rowan. That is, I think, 85% cotton, 15% cashmere, I think. Don't quote me on that. But it's a very nice yarn. It's as cotton is, it's not very soft to knit up. It's very nice to wear, and the only thing is it's fairly expensive. So I think 50 grams cost around about £9. I used 9 balls, or I bought 9 balls of wool, I think, and this one is the 9th one, so I just broke into the 9th one. The pattern itself is knit in pieces, so something I would nowadays probably not choose anymore. I prefer knitting in rounds. I don't really like seaming that much, and back then I didn't even have an idea about what I had to do, so I didn't block it. I just knitted up and seamed it together. I didn't do a swatch, and I'm actually quite lucky that all worked out, because I think I knit up a size medium, and this is more of like a size small, I think. So it fits me well enough. It's a bit tight, but actually it got a bit looser now wearing it that much. But it has very nice details. We'll try to show you. So it's got like a split hem. It's a bit longer in the back, and it has got like 7/8 length of sleeves. A very nice pattern, and if you like knitting in pieces, that's actually flat, that's very nice. I really like this yarn over drop stitch. I don't know if you can see it. So you've got like some rows of purl, some rows of stockinette stitch, and then in between you get these yarn over drop stitches, and I think they look very nice. So after all, I think it's a very nice sweater. I asked my sister if people see or if they give her compliments for it, and she says no, I think most people think it's shopbought because you can't really tell it's handmade, which is probably like a nice compliment. And yeah, it's very nice. The other thing I asked her is like, how do you like the fit? And she said, oh yeah, it's very nice, it fits well. But then she said, but the sleeves, I don't know, they're a bit short. I was like, well, they're meant to be like that. They're meant to be 7/8 sleeves. Now I think, now she knows it, she's happy about it, she loves it, and I hope I can return it very soon. I still have to fix the hole, but in the meanwhile I can maybe just wear it a couple of more times. The next finished object is something that I can't show you because I have already given it away, but I will include you a picture so you can have a look at it. It was the love note that I knit up for a little baby girl who was born maybe a month ago, and I decided to knit that up because I had some yarn in my stash that was suitable. So I knitted up the size newborn, and actually that's a very nice pattern because you get all the different sizes. You get baby sizes up to adult sizes, and I think that's really great. I think I forgot to mention, so the pattern is Love Note by Tincanknits. It's something probably most of you have heard about or probably knitted. It's a very popular pattern, and I used some West Yorkshire spinners Bo Peep Luxury Baby DK. This is like, it's like a blend, well, it's 52% Falkland wool and then 48% nylon. The result is super nice. The only thing I'm a bit concerned about is that the collar might be a bit too small, and I hope she's able to actually put it on this little girl. I actually have to ask her if it fits well. But yeah, the pattern was super nice, and I'm still thinking about if I shall knit one for myself or not. Because there have so many people knit this pattern already, when I see it I really want to knit it, and then sometimes I think, maybe it would be nice to knit something that people haven't knit that much yet. So we will see. But at least I've made one of it now, and I know the pattern is really well written, so I can recommend that. And yeah, if you want to try little ones, I think that's a good idea to just start with a baby sweater or a children's size sweater, and then you can see if you like it or not. And then I will start talking about my work in progress, and I have got something very special on my needles. So this is a pattern that I have come up with myself. I did a little bit of maths. I used previous jumpers to see my gauge, and I decided to knit up a sweater for my boyfriend. So he asked for another sweater out of Icelandic yarn, wool, and I thought it would be nice to have like a maritime inspired sweater. He asked for one with fishes on it, so on the yoke I will include some fishes, but this is the body part. The body part is so far finished, so I am currently working on the sleeves. So these are both the sleeves. So I repeated the wave pattern on the sleeves as well. I made it a bit smaller on the sleeves because I wanted to have more waves on the sleeves, and if I would have gone with the other one I would have only had like maybe 3 repeats, whereas here I have more repeats now. It's showing up very nicely on this Icelandic wool that I always love to use. So this is the Alafoslopi. You will find the colorways that I'm using on my pattern page once I have finished it. So at the moment I'm just writing it up, so you don't find it on my Ravelry page at the moment. The other thing I wanted to show you actually, because people have asked me how I knitted. So the sleeves, especially when there's color work, I use double pointed needles. So up until here I used double pointed needles, and then I switched over onto a cable needle. So I'm using the magic loop method. So I've got a longer cable than you really need, and I'm having both of the sleeves knit up at the same time. That is mainly because, first of all, I hate having one sleeve knit up and then you have to continue on the other one, and then it's not completely identical. I am a perfectionist when it comes to my knitting, to a point where I annoy myself because I end up ripping back and doing stupid things just because I think, well, I'm convinced it needs to be perfect. But this way I know at least that if I make a mistake, I make it twice most of the times, so I can live with it easier than if it was only on one sleeve. This method works best if you have short needle tips. So other than the symphony needles, on these ones I chose some ginger needles that have short needle tips, and that makes it possible to knit in a round on the sleeve, and you don't have to do the magic loop method like you would normally have to do it, and you don't end up with like a ridge on your sleeve. So this is completely even, and you don't end up with lines. I really like that I have just discovered this way to do it. The other thing I love to do about, well, when I knit with interchangeable needles, on the left hand side I always use at least one needle size smaller than the needle size I'm supposed to be using, and that is just solely for the reason that I like to pick up a bit more speed. I'm not a fast knitter, and I know people there's some people who just knit super fast. I'm unfortunately not that good in it, but having a smaller size needle on the left hand side just makes it easier to slip your stitches onto the needles. And that's a tip that I've seen it somewhere, I think somewhere on the internet. I saw it and I thought, oh, that's a good idea. And actually, since I discovered that, I do it most of the times, and it just makes it so much easier. Sorry, my battery died. I talked too long before. So I'm back. The next work in progress is something, it's a pattern that I won. So I think I've never won something before, not something I can recall anyways. So I've won this pattern online. I went on Instagram one day and I saw that Xenia from Life is Cozy, she had just posted something in her stories. She had posted a picture of her newest pattern that she just released at the time, and that was the Milk Bun Poof. And she had like set up the poof. If you don't know what a poof is, it's like a sort of like a foot. Is it a footstool? Not too sure how you call it. And she had posted this one with a cat on top, and I thought, oh, maybe it's a cat, and I just commented it. And yes, I was right. I was the first one who commented, and I got this pattern for free, which I was very happy about, because I thought, oh, it's nice to make something for our new apartment. And I've never knitted anything else than garments and maybe blankets. So yeah, here I am. So this is the Milk Bun Poof by Life is Cozy. I have used some paint box cotton Aran that I bought for a different project this summer. I meant to knit a blanket out of it, and I realized I didn't buy enough, and I tried to get more of it, but the yarn, the dye lot wasn't available anymore that I used for the first bit. And when I got the second order of a different dye lot, I was actually shocked that the yarn looked so different. The color was not anything like the other one, and I just couldn't combine it, especially not in a blanket where you really see it. So I ripped it all back again, and I thought, oh, I'm going to use it for something else. So I'm using 2 strands at the same time for that one. I didn't do a swatch, and I didn't have bigger needles at the time available, so I just used, I'm using 8mm needles. The pattern asked for 9mm needles, so it's going to have different dimensions, but it doesn't really matter. It's going to be living somewhere here. I still have to get the filling. I might use an old cushion that we don't use anymore and try to use that up. But I think it looks very nice. I think it will add a cozy look to the living room. I sort of stalled on that one. I haven't knit this for a little bit, and it's not missing much actually. I'm actually starting to do decreases again, I think, if I remember right. So I just have to get back to this one. But I need to rip back the swatches first, because this is actually the remaining yarn that I have. So I have to rip the swatches for a different project back, and then I will be able to continue on that one. Not really, I don't swatch that much usually, but I did some swatches for something, for a blanket, and yeah, I will have to get rid of that first. The pattern is very well written. It has instructions in charted and written up, which I really like. I personally prefer written up descriptions. I also like charts, but I find the written up way is, for me, it's easier to keep track on where I am, and then obviously the charts are easier to really see what it's supposed to be looking like. But I like when there's both of the descriptions included in a pattern. I really like her way of writing patterns, so I've test knitted another, like a summer tee for her this summer, and I like that it is very clear. There's not like a lot of chat around it. There's enough description at the beginning to tell you what you need, but I like it that it's very structured, so yeah, something that I can recommend. The last work in progress that I have is my vanilla socks that I already showed you a while ago. The one that I showed you, I ripped it back, I didn't like it, and I went for just, yeah, something, I made this up, like, as long as whilst I was knitting, I just came up with how I wanted it. So I did a 3x1 rib, and I kept it, I probably can't really see because the yarn is variegated, but I continued the ribbing on the foot, and then I used a heel that I saw in one of the patterns that I liked. Normally, I know a lot of people say, oh yes, socks are just like a mindless knit. They are to a point for me. The problem is I want to have them exactly symmetrical. I know it doesn't really matter, but if I do, let's say, a random number, 20 rounds for a cuff, I really want the other one to be exactly 20 rounds as well. So it's only mindless until I come to a point where I have to change something, and then I really want to have it perfectly. And I know it doesn't really matter, you won't be able to see it, but yeah, I think I have to be a bit more flexible in regards to that. The yarn that I'm using is a yarn that I bought at the beginning of the year when I was taking part in a sock knitting competition. So this is it's Chofunga by My Mama Knits. It's a hand-dyed yarn, and yeah, it's very nice. I think it looks beautiful. These are just gonna be like socks for sitting on the couch. I personally don't wear hand knitted socks in boots unless I go like outside for like a walk, but mostly I wear hand knitted socks at home. And I actually don't wear them that much. I prefer giving them away. And I'm not a big sock knitter as well. I knit them from time to time, but I personally prefer to knit sweaters. Yeah, these are all the projects that I'm working on at the moment. My stash acquisition, so I think I didn't buy any yarn lately. I ordered some yesterday night, or shall I say today in the morning. I ordered some very nice yarn that I'm gonna use for a test knit that I signed up to. I will show you more about it in my next episode. But the only thing that I bought is actually, I bought this little trolley over there. Whoops, there you go. I bought that one because I wanted to have my yarn, or especially my tools, organized when I knit. So I can just put all my knitting needle sets on top. I can put different projects in there that I'm working on, and that way it's not like all over the couch when we watch TV. I just have it there. I can put it away when I'm not using it. And I find it's a very good way to organize your yarn if you don't have that much space. And it looks nice as well, I think. It's very handy, like I put my notions in the top, I put like notes in there, and all my like pencils and erasers, just what you need whilst you're knitting. Other than that, I didn't buy anything, and I'm trying not to buy more stuff because I have enough things in my stash to use up. The next thing I wanted to just tell you about, so I am going to do like a little mini knit along with two friends. So these two friends, they are not really into knitting, or they haven't knit that much yet, and they want to knit a sweater, so we decided to knit something together. And I'm pretty sure we decided on on a pattern by Jorge Locatelli. It's the Cozy Neighborhood, and I will use some Plötulopi, which is an unspun Icelandic yarn, and I will combine it with a mohair. I'm probably not going to do it in this colorway, even though I think that they look very nice. It's a nice grey, but I will probably go in like a rust brown. So as soon as we decide when we start, I will order the bits that I don't have, and I'm looking forward to that. So this is part of my knit list. As I already mentioned, I'm going to do a test knit as well, and I need to really finish this sweater, so I've got enough things to be working on. So that leaves me to explain you how you can enter to that giveaway. So for that giveaway, I would like to ask you to just subscribe to this channel. If you want to make sure that you don't miss any notifications when I upload a video, you can always click on this little bell that will make sure that you get a notification. The other thing I want to ask you is that you follow KnitPro's YouTube channel. I will include a link down in the description box, so you can head over there and subscribe to the channel. And then once you've done the first two steps, just leave me a comment down below why you would like to win this set. And that is mainly just so I can see that you have completed step 1 and 2. So you have the chance to win one of these sets. I will draw the winner before my next episode. So the plan is to have another episode up within the next 2 weeks. So if you really want to make sure that you can take part, enter the giveaway right away when you see this, so you don't miss out. And then I will draw the winner. I will announce him in my next video, and then hopefully I can just send it so you have it before Christmas. I will send that from here to anywhere where you are, and yeah, I just wish you good luck. I really hope you like this giveaway. If you want to follow me a bit more, you can always head over to Instagram. I'm a bit more active there now. I am doing some improvements, so head over there. I'm called Free Your Sheep over there, and if you have any questions about projects that I'm working on, you can always have a look at my pattern pages. I always include descriptions of what I'm using, and if I do modifications, I include that there as well. Well, that just leaves me to say a big thank you to you. Thank you for staying here until the end of this episode. Thank you for watching, and I really hope to see you very soon again in one of my next episodes. Thank you, bye bye.